Hujambo popote ulipo na karibu kwenye kipindi cha Youth na Bizna. Kila mara mimi hukwambia kwamba hapa ndipo sisi hukuletea vijana ambao wamebobea kwenye masuala ya uwekezaji na uzalishaji mali. Hii leo nikikuuliza swali kama kawaida, unafanya nini katika mambo yako ya kimaisha kila uchao? Kumbuka Mithali 28:19. Alimaye shamba kwa bidii kila mara kuvuna kwa utele.
Once again, we appreciate you for joining us for the Youth na Bizna, a program that has been prepared and presented to you by the Word of Faith Youth Church. Today, we are yet hosting another person, one of our own, Joe KIRONYO, who is running the S&d Family Ltd. He is actually into the sound industry, but that is not what he studied in campus. So we are yet to find out why he decided to switch and venture into this business and not what he studied in campus. So Joe, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Can you tell us your official names?
My name is Joe Munyori. Munyori is my surname. I was born in Kiambu County, Gego Village. So I was born in an entrepreneurship setup. My dad was a serial entrepreneur. He used to majorly run the matatu industry. He used to have several matatus. So that is where I got the interest from initially, because he used to go to work with him on weekends, mostly on Saturday and Sunday. He used to ply the Kiambu Banana route or the Kiambu Nairobi route. So that is how I started my entrepreneurship journey. Or that is how I got interested in entrepreneurship.
You mentioned cereal. Huh?
Yeah.
Cereal, do you mean beans, maize?
No, serial entrepreneur. He had many businesses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just wanted us to have a clear understanding of that statement.
Yeah.
So right from your childhood, you were introduced to entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
How was your schooling like?
So after we did business for some years, then my dad passed on when I was in around class 3. And then the matatu business continued for like 2 years. And then we sold the matatus. That is when I was in class 5. And now I was forced to focus on education. So I continued in my primary school education. Then I went to Kiambu High School. And then after Form 4, I wanted to get back into entrepreneurship because I knew that is where I was meant to be. But my mom was so tough on me. The minimum dropout point in our family is a degree, so I had to go to campus. So as I was doing the campus selection, I looked for an easy course that I would be able to pursue and try out some businesses here and there. So that is how I ended up in Kenyatta University. I studied analytical chemistry. Yes. So during my stay at Kenyatta University, I did several businesses. In my first year of college, I used to sell Masai sandals. They were the in thing then. That is around 2012, 2013. So I used to sell Masai sandals and clutch bags. So we used to buy them at Karioko, and some bracelets for ladies. So I used to buy them at Karioko with a friend of mine called Kevin. He's the CEO, Blessed Basket. That was like 10 years ago. And then I would sell at KU. Kevin would sell at Kiambu. So we did that business for like 1 year. That is my first year. Then by the end of the first year, that business ikakuwa biashara mbaya. So clutch bags were everywhere, and Masai sandals were being hawked by people around. So biashara ikaharibika. So we abandoned that business. So even went into farming. He was also an accountant at the Sasini Coffee Factory. And I went back to school, now full time. So when I went back to school during my second year, I bought a laptop, and I met another friend from home who taught me how to repair laptops and phones and such. So that was my second business in college. So I started repairing laptops and phones, and then putting on software and operating systems and such. So along the way, my main customers were first years because they didn't know much about technology, and I was well versed in that area. So for my second year, I did a service industry. So along the way, I met people asking me which is the best type of phone to buy, which is the best laptop to purchase. So as the customers kept coming, that is how I got a place where I'd source the laptops and phones and sell to my customers at school. So that is how I got into Luthuli. That was a second year. So I did that business for second year. Yeah.
You're saying from the questions you were drawing from your friends and the people around you,
Yeah.
it gave you the direction to go towards electronics.
Yeah. So it sourced the phones from Luthuli and laptops, and that is how I made friends here at Luthuli. So my customer base grew back then. So I also got clients from Luthuli. So when I was not at school, I was either getting someone a laptop or a phone, or hanging around the streets of Luthuli. So I did that for second year and part of my third year. So by the time I got to third year, I already had friends over here. So I started gaining some interest in the music industry. So I used to, by then I knew how to test mixers, microphones, and such. So I did, as time went by, so I abandoned the service industry because it was taking much of my time, because installing an OS in a computer, maybe it will take you 1 or 2 hours. And selling someone a laptop or a phone will take you a few minutes, and maybe the margins are almost the same. So I abandoned that business, but the customers kept coming, relatives, family, friends, they kept coming and consulting for information. So by the time I cleared 4th year, so I was completely out of the service industry and I was in this industry. So during my college breaks, I used to go for internships. Now on my main career, so I went to Crown Paints, worked there for a while. I went to another company here called National Quality Control, worked there for a while. I went to KIST, I was a lecturer during my first year break. So by the time I got to Form 4, not Form 4, by the time I got to 4th year, I was sure that even though I was doing this career, my temperaments and my interests were way far away. By the time I finished college, I knew that that is not the line that I wanted to take. So after college, I started pursuing other businesses that I would set up. So after college, we hooked up with another friend of mine called Steve. We wanted to set up a hardware pale Kikuyu.
Kidogo tu kabla hatujaingia kwenye hardware, safari imekuwa ndefu. Tumeanzia mtu wako darasa la 5, nataka kuamini ni mtu wako na takriban miaka 10 hivi. 19 hapo. Inategemea na uliingia ukiwa na umri gani. Na umehusika katika biashara kuanzia ukiwa na huo umri ama ukiwa darasa la 5. Kwenye matatu ndipo umetuanzia. Kulikuwa na ushindani, manake matatu haikuwa ile ya nyumbani peke yake ama zile za mzazi peke yake. Kulikuwa na ushindani kati ya yenye mnafanya kazi nayo na matatu zingine kwenye barabara. ukaja kwenye ufundi wa vyombo kama vile tarakilishi na vile simu. Kukawa pia kuna ushindani, manake kuna mafundi wengine kule nje ambao wanafanya ile kazi. Ukaja kuuza viatu wakati mwingine vya Kimasai na mikoba ya Kimasai, na pia kukawa na ushindani hadi ile biashara ukaiacha, na ukaja ukajipata huko hapa sasa kwenye biashara ambayo unaifanya. Unaweza sema nini kuhusu ushindani katika biashara na ukakamavu katika biashara na kutokata tamaa?
Chenye naweza sema, competition has always been there, be it in the matatu industry, but it is always good to embrace competition because it makes business easier and more flexible, and it makes marketing easier. Kwa hivyo competition pale ilikuwa wakati wa matatu. By then kulikuwa zile matatu za face me, but we managed to get hizi za kuangalia mbele and upgraded to another one. Kwa hivyo competition is always there, whether healthy or not. Lakini ile kitu ya maana ni you build trust between you and your customers, and you become more competent in whatever you are doing. Ukuwe na you have greater value than your competitor.
Unaweza kusema kwamba ushindani ambao umeupata wakati mmoja baada ya mwingine katika masuala yako ya kibiashara, iwe ni hapa Luthuli ama ni uko nje kabla hujafika Luthuli, ya ule ushindani umekusaidia kwa njia moja ama nyingine kujenga misuri kama mwanabiashara?
Hiyo ni kusema ukweli. About competition will always be there, whether you are doing the wrong thing or the right thing, whether you are running a good business or a bad business, competition will always be there. And it is good to embrace competition because that is what keeps you going. That is what keeps you adding more value to your products and looking for new ways to do business. That is what will help you transition from one business to the other. Yeah, if there is no competition, of course, you're going to get complacent. And at the end of the day, you're not going to make progress.
I picked 2 points from your story. It was amazing knowing your story, especially knowing that you lost your parent at a very young age, because we know we have people out there who have gone through the same things, and seeing you where you are today so tells us that if you go through a hard situation, that doesn't mean that you stop at that point. You have to continue. Now back to the business line, because that's what we are concentrating on. You spoke about letting that business go, biashara ikakuwa mbaya. So I would love you to shed some more light on at what point do you drop a business? Do you say hii biashara imekuwa mbaya? The second thing that I picked is when you said that you were comparing time and margin. You setting up a system in a computer would take you like 2 hours, and you selling a laptop would take you lesser time but has more margin. Would you shed some light on profit, margin, and time, and how maybe somebody needs to look at it to be able to pick a more profitable business? Because there are people who are so attached to one business and they are blinded, they can't notice that this other one has more margin and has less effort. So you would shed more light on at what point should I drop this business and pick another, and time, margin, and work. Yes.
On that question, what I'd say is there are so many factors to consider when dropping a business or when venturing into another business. But most important is to check the sustainability of a business in terms of whether this is a business you can do for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. But in the modern world we have today, there is so much competition, be it in photography, music, there is a point where you will push a product or push a business, and then the business cannot go beyond that point. So I'd say depending on the different factors at play, how much capital you have invested in that business, what that business has done for you in terms of investments or returns. Yeah, those are different factors you should consider. But when you get into a business, initially it's normally difficult. It's challenging before you learn the loopholes. So it's also careful to know why is my business failing? Is it because my competitors are better? Will I ever get better than them? Is it because the profit margins are low? Will I ever be able to flip the profits? Or what exactly is ailing your business? Because you might also give up when you're about to make a breakthrough. So it's important to consider why your business is failing in the first place. If there are factors you can work on, then you stay on the business. If there are factors beyond you, then you count your losses and move on. Yeah.
Naam, Kironyo, mimi nitaka nikikurudisha tu nyuma, nisamehe. Tumefika kwenye uwekezaji na makadirio ya faida na hasara. Lakini swali moja ambalo mtu wako pale nje na kutazama anaweza kukuuliza kwa urahisi, ni kuuliza kwa niaba yake. Mtaji wa kuwekeza uliupata vipi, ama uliweza kuianzisha vipi biashara? Mtaji ulitoka wapi, ama kile ambacho tunaita capital?
No, that's a very good question. Kwa hivyo me am a very good saver. Nilianza kusave nikiwa mdogo sana. By the time I got into college, I was already saving. So whatever I used to make, I used to save somewhere. So nikiwa first year, I would talk to my mom, anipatie kama pocket money the whole month pamoja, so that I go buy stock, and then from the stock I can survive. So saving has been has done it for me. That is how I've been able to get here. And I was first year 10 years ago, so 10 years of saving.
Kwa hivyo nimepatana na watu ambao mtaji wao walipata kwa mkopo, labda kutoka kwenye benki, labda kutoka mashirika ya kiserikali ambayo yanafadhili vijana na wanajipatia mtaji wa kuanzisha biashara zao. Pia nimepata watu ambao mtaji wao labda ni kuchukua bidhaa ama kuagiza bidhaa kutoka kwa makampuni, wakishauza wanachukua faida yao, wanatumia kampuni kile ambacho ni cha kampuni. Kwa hivyo yako kabisa ni kutoka kwa kile ambacho uliokoa.
Chenye naweza sema ni my foundation is based on saving. If you have not saved anything, if you go to the bank, they are not going to give you a loan. If you go to the circle, they are not going to give you a loan. You must have a working account. And one of the major mistakes people make in business is you go get a loan and invest in a new business, a business you know nothing about. So what I'd say is before going big or going great in any business, first invest that 1,000, that 5,000, that 10,000. Then after you see the business is doing good, then it is also justifiable to get a loan. So my foundation is based on saving. Yeah.
So what you're primarily telling us is that the savings that you had made for around 7 years, because this business you probably began it like 4 years ago, 2016. So the savings you had made from the time you were in first year until 2016, definitely they were not this big. I want to assume they were not this big, right? So you first invested and you saw that if you venture in big time, it has returned.
Asante kwa kuendelea kuwa pamoja nasi. Kumbuka unaweza kuwasiliana nasi kupitia mitandao yetu ya kijamii pale YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, hata pale Twitter. Kupitia our handle kote itakuwa ni @PrayerCaveYouth, @PrayerCaveYouth, na tutapata kukujibu kama una swali. Na pia ukitaka tufanye kipindi nawe, wacha ujumbe wako hapo, tutaweza kuwasiliana nawe baadaye. kwa dakika ama kwa sekunde chache mno. Tuende mapumzikoni kisha tunarejea. Asante kwa kuendelea kuitegea Youth na Bizna na kuifanya Youth na Bizna kipindi chako ukipendacho. Asante kwa kuendelea kuwa pamoja nasi na nakukaribisha mara tena. Mimi ni Joram Dirangu Maina na mwenzangu
Moke Nyakundi. You're welcome once more to this program, and we were having our amazing guest Joe. He was shedding light on how to run a business, when to drop a business, how to get into another business, how to spend your money, how to spend loan money, how to spend savings money. And now I would love him to shed more light on how he decided to get into this business and kind of put aside his career, maybe for future purposes, we don't know, but as at now he's shelved it and he's doing this kind of business. At what point, Kironyo, did you decide I'm going to do this? And how did you tell the people around you who mean a lot that I want to do this? How did they react? And so forth, so on. So welcome, Kironyo.
Thank you. So from the word go, I knew I wanted to do business from a tender age. So by the time I got to Form 4, maybe I was 17. So I never wanted to go to college because there was this burning spirit in me that I want to become a businessman. But unfortunately, there were no opportunities. There were no family businesses there for me to join in. So initially, I wanted to study a business course. I wanted to do maybe economics and finance or BCom. But along the way, I met someone who told me that you don't require a business course to do business. So what you require is a good brain and some capital. So that is how I found myself in the analytical chemistry field. So all along, I knew that in one way or the other, I had to get into business. And one of the reasons why I did that course is because I disliked an office environment, an office work environment. So I was looking for a course where I'd not have to go to the office. So right from the word go, I knew that I had to get into business no matter what. Yeah.
Kwa hivyo Kironyo, ukaenda chuo kikuu, ukasomea kemia, ukapata cheti na ukakunja cheti ukaweka kwenye nyumba ukatoka. Unaweza kuambia nini? Labda kuna mzazi anaweza kuwa anakutazama kwa sasa, ama kijana anakutazama kwa sasa na hivi ako chuoni. Ni lipi la muhimu? Ni kile ambacho kiko moyoni ama ambacho mzazi anasisitiza?
So what I'd say is it depends on so many factors, because as a young person, you might be misled by the society or by your peers to think that whatever you are doing is right. So what I'd say is first, sikiza mzazi wako. If the parent is advising you to go for that degree, there is a reason why he or she is advising you to do that degree. So obedience is key. In as much as you want to pursue music or football or you want to pursue your talent, it is important to first pursue that degree, because as you can see, the way the country is going, even being an MCA, you might be required to get that degree. So it's better to have that degree, even though you're going to pursue other things, but it's always good to have a fallback plan. And once you finish that degree and your talent is giving you money, it's always easy to switch, and it's always easy to convince your parent that yes, I studied this and this, but as you can see, music is making me more money, football is making me more money, but vile Wakikuyu wanasemanga mzazi anaonanga mbali. So I would advise any young person out there, first listen to your parent. Then after that, after you are done with that degree, you can be able to pursue whatever talent you want. You can also use your degree as a stepping stone into business. You can get into employment, kidogo kidogo, save up, and you step up into the next level.
Kwa hivyo kwa ufupi unasema msingi wa elimu uko na umuhimu wake katika maisha ya mtu yeyote yule, licha ya kile ambacho unataka kufanya katika maisha. Naam, kama vile Joe anasema ni kwamba msingi wa elimu unategemea zaidi umbali na himaya ambayo utaweza kufikia katika maisha yako. Kumbuka, msingi utegemea mambo matatu. Tunasema inategemea urefu, muda ambao jengo litaweza kusimama, na uzito ama uzani mjengo unaweza kustahimili. Kwa hivyo weka msingi wako sawa kielimu ili kwamba uweze kupiga hatua zinginezo kwa mtawalia.
I have a very interesting question because this is Youths na Bizna, and we do successful stories of young Christian entrepreneurs. So Joe, we have the question of how you maneuver the business world as a Christian. Is there a difference? Are there challenges you face? Is there something you have to do extra, or you don't have to do, or you have to run away from? What is it in your field of sound? Do you have a difference between you and that other person who knows nothing about Christianity or cares nothing about religion? You know, we have Muslims, we have Hindus, they have their lines as well, because there are instructions they receive in their holy books. So as a Christian, how is your field? Are there things you have to shun? Are there things you have to embrace?
What I'd say to respond to that question is, as a Christian, of course, you have to stand firm. You have to have your core values. You have to know what are the basic values of your business, what you can do and what you cannot do, how you respond to customers, how you how you talk to customers, and even you also have to learn your position in the marketplace. Are you preaching the gospel at the marketplace? Maybe here we have gone for functions, and then people are drinking. Do you stand out? Do they know your values? Do they respect your values? How are you as a Christian? So I believe before even you tell someone that, hey, me nimeokoka, Yesu ni Bwana. So I'd say right from the behaviors, how you carry your business in terms of honesty, and the values, the core values that you use to run your business will definitely make you stand out, because someone may want to approach you, kwambie, maybe we are going for this event or this end of year party. So by the time you get there, they already know Joe afanyangi hivi na hivi. Before you even talk about yourself, or before you even say nimeokoka or anything, your behavior and character also determines how people treat you. So I'd say, as a Christian, yes, it's challenging. There are things you can't do, but those things you can do are the things that make a difference. And I believe there are also things that Christians do that the worldly people don't do. They tithe, they pray to God. So I believe that is my competitive edge in my marketplace.
Hivi wewe uko katika uwekezaji na unauza vyombo vya muziki. Hivi unahisije kwamba umeweza kutoa ajira kwa watu wengi katika taifa? Unahisije kwamba unachangia katika kukuza uchumi wa nchi? Kabla nikuulize swali la mwisho sasa.
What I'd say is my main aim in business is to impact other people's lives. So if you have a business that is not impacting your neighbor, not impacting your relative, not impacting your family, you cannot be in business just because of the sole purpose of money. You have to make an impact to the society, to the people around you. So that is what keeps me going, that despite whether you are making losses or profits, at the end of the day, you know that you have made an impact into someone's lives. If a pastor buys a mixer from you and impart a good service, he's definitely going to be able to spread the gospel. So I might be here in Nairobi, but there is a pastor somewhere doing great because of my small act. So I'd say it's about impacting into the society and to the people around you.
Na nikimalizia swali labda la mwisho nimpatie mwenzangu kwenye kipindi, ni kwamba uko katikati ya mji wa Nairobi. Utaweza kusema nini kuhusu ada za serikali? Manake kuna leseni unapewa na serikali ya county, na pia kuna ushuru ambao unalipa pale KRA, na unalipa moja kwa moja, na pia unalipa kwa njia zinginezo si za moja kwa moja. Unaweza kusema nini ili kwamba uhamasishe kijana mwingine aweze kuwajibika kama Mkenya anayewajibika?
What I'd respond to that is, if you want your business to grow big, you have to do things by the book. You cannot evade hizi mambo zote. Hata Biblia imesema you have to pay taxes, you have to pay rent, you have to pay licenses. That is the order of the day. So if you want to go big, kama unataka kukua unajulikana, kampuni yako inajulikana, ama umebobea katika biashara yako, then you cannot avoid these things. So what I'd say is just comply. It takes the headache of you. Badala ya kushinda unapotea unafanya nini, fuatilia sheria, fuatilia mambo yanayowekwa kwa Biblia. Kama ni 10%, give God what belongs to him, pay yourself, and then you leave the rest to God. So compliance is key. And hii mambo ya kucheza hide and seek na authorities, you get to spend more time, you get to waste more time. So I'd say, as a young entrepreneur there, because even if you are to do business with the government, there are some things zenye they will ask, watakuuliza umecomply, license iko wapi. So all these things have been put in place for the well-being of businesses. So I'd advise people to comply.
Kwa hivyo kufaulu katika biashara ni kukubali kugaramika, na kugaramika ni kukubali kulipa gharama. Yani lipa ada za leseni zote, na pia lipa ushuru, uwajibike hata unapo nawiri katika biashara yako. Moja kwa moja kwa mwenzangu katika kipindi tunapomalizia.
Joe, how many beneficiaries do we have under S&d Family Limited? How many people are attached to this, are benefiting from this in one way or the other?
What I'd say is I cannot put a number to it, because right from ukitoka kwa nyumba umelipa mtu wa matatu kukuja Nairobi, when you get to town you umelipa mtu wa trolley ya kubebea kitu hapa, umenunua matunda, umeingia supermarket. So in whatever business you are doing, there are so many beneficiaries, whether directly or indirectly. There are people you preach to through your business, there are people you unasaidia na biashara yako, church and what. So I cannot put a number to it, but so far I'm blessed. That is what I would say.
Thank you very much, Joe, for giving us your time and even sharing your story. It's such an inspiration to young people out there who aspire to get into business. And from Joe's desk, this is what I get in a nutshell. Give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give to God what belongs to God. Follow your heart. Right from a very young age, he's born in an entrepreneurship family, and he knew that he would get into business in one way or the other. Again, obedience is better than sacrifice. He obeyed his parents to get into campus and later on get into business. So from his desk, know when to drop a business, know when to get into another business, know how to spend your money. Thank you very much for joining us here at Youths na Bizna. My name is Mokenya Kundi, and my co-host Joram
Dirangu Maina. Na kila mara nakwambia kijana ni kujukumika, siku za usoni uzee hula ujana. Unachofanya leo kinategemea zaidi maisha yako ya kesho yatakapokuwa. Tena nikukumbushe, ujana ni maji ya moto. Fanya mambo kabla hayajapoa, kabla hayajawa